Hey, it's your girl Kea from Traverze Culture.
And it's your boy Orina from Sell Africa to Africans. And so Sell Africa to Africans is partnering with Traverse Culture with an initiative called Journey Back to Eden, which will be from which date to which date, Kia?
December the 28th to January the 4th. That's the 7-day itinerary. And December the 28th till January the 8th is the 12th-day itinerary with a 3-day event where we will have a business conference, a cultural exchange expo, and New Year celebration.
Yes, exactly. So this is an opportunity for you Africans in the diaspora to come back home because we love you and we miss you. This is your home. I know it's been 400 years, but this is a good first step to get introduced to Africa through Kenya. So please come home, have fun, but mostly learn and socialize and build relationships with Kenyans. We are willing to talk. We are willing to just socialize and get to know you well, because that's the foundation of how we are going to live as Africans once we unite and we live together in future. So come home, welcome home, Karibu Kenya, and Africa is for Africans. Okay, peace and blessings, everybody. I am Orina, and welcome to Sell Africa to Africans. Today, this is a part 2. So last year, I think about, was it mid last year?
Yeah,
Mid last year,
like May.
May, yeah.
Same time last year.
Nah, really?
Same time last year.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yep.
So May last year, I reached out to Kea and we managed to do the episode. This is Traverse Culture. This is a company that links African Americans and Africans in the diaspora to Kenya through travel, through relocation, through business, etc. She'll tell you all of it. But today we will talk about that, but we'll talk about also the journey back to Eden and my involvement in it, because I am the official ambassador for the Journey Back to Eden initiative, and we'll tell you all about it. But before we get into everything, Kea, how are you?
I'm good.
How are
I
you?
love that you said you're an official ambassador. I
Oh
love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yes.
It's official now.
Yes.
It's official.
Yes.
How are you, Kea? How's everything?
I'm good.
Mhm.
I'm good. I'm really good. I'm enjoying living here,
Mm-hmm.
enjoying the beautiful Nairobi and
Beautiful.
the people.
Look at
Man,
this.
yeah, y'all gonna have to show them
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah,
the surrounding.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm loving it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
How's everything? How's life? How's life? How's life?
Stress free.
Yeah.
Stress free.
Mhm.
Since I've been here, I'm completely settled now.
Mhm.
I have my place to stay. I got my little car. I got my health insurance. I got my immigration papers legally together. So I'm good. My team is good.
Mhm.
They out here working. We just relocated a family from South Africa to Kenya about maybe now 3 weeks.
Mhm.
And they're settling well in the country. So yeah, man, life is good. I'm so happy that I made this move.
Good. Wow. Before we go into Traverse, and let's first sort the Journey Back to Eden
Okay.
initiative.
Yeah.
So, first of all, I'm really honored that you reached out to me because I've always wanted to do this.
Okay.
I've always
Because it's what you're doing.
It is what I'm doing.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted to do it from an action point of view.
Okay.
And my dream was always to link Africans in the diaspora to Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this Journey Back to Eden is a good step forward.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good first step.
Yes.
And man, just tell us all about it. The name, first of all, Journey Back to Eden, and everything.
Yeah. So the Journey Back to Eden, really, it's rooted in what most people say, the Genesis, the beginning. And as we all have seen in terms of the year return in Ghana, it was rooted in the stories of the enslaved Africans that left 400 years ago and returning home.
Mm-hmm.
And while I can appreciate that, East Africa has a different story in terms of both sides. It does have the story of enslaved Africans leaving the shores of Mombasa and Tanzania onward to North Africa, West Africa, and the Americas and all over. However, you also have the cradle of life that predates all of that, where all humanity began. And this is the most unique area to be able to call all Africans or descendants of Africa to this landmass in which we all began prior to the enslavement of African people globally. That's unique. And it kind of takes away the trauma in us connecting with each other. We can connect on another level where we still commemorate our ancestors who were enslaved, who we stand on their shoulders,
Of course.
who left this land hundreds of years ago.
Of course.
But we also can fellowship and relationship build without having it so traumatized, being here in the cradle of life. And so that's where the journey back to Eden came from.
Eden, the first garden.
Yes.
Interesting.
Most people think that the Eden, the Garden of Eden is here,
yeah.
actually in Kenya. And they believe that in the Rift Valley area. And then they also believe, they also believe that that Mount Kenya is Mount Zion. Yes.
Makes sense.
Yep.
I've heard the Mount Zion part. I've never heard the Rift Valley Eden thing.
Yep.
But that's amazing.
Yeah.
So tell us, what was the inspiration behind Journey Back to Eden? Like,
the year return.
Yeah.
The year return was the huge inspiration, which was in 2019. The Ghana initiative, calling all Africans, mainly African Americans, to Ghana, apologizing for the transatlantic slave trade, and welcoming them home. And I figured, because Kenya has always been the love of my life. And
how many years,
so
by the way?
magical.
How many years?
13 years.
Wow.
13 years. I just love this country. And I always say this on all of my interviews, the people is what make this country beautiful. Even Kenyan folks will say, yeah, that's true. We make it special. While the country itself is beautiful, the landmass, Kenyans are just magical people. And so once I saw Ghana being able to do this successfully, I'm like, why can't we do this in East Africa? Why can't we do this in Kenya? Kenya has, if not a better infrastructure, it's in the position to welcome all types of people, as it has been doing for the last 61 years of its independence. And so I'm like, why not? You know what I mean? Let's start here in East Africa, where we can create a second point of entry into the continent for a mass exodus of people of African descent to look to the continent for investment opportunities, relocation opportunities, medical, tourism, and so on and so forth. Why can't we have Kenya as another entry point into the continent?
Wow, I like the medical tourism part.
Yeah.
That's good. Just because like, I feel like that's something that you post a lot about the medical tourism part. I saw the dentistry one, and then your procedure the other day. What do you like? Just tell us all about medical tourism in Kenya.
Yeah, so medical tourism is not a new theory, right? It's been around actively been around for the last 11 to 15 years. There's over 1,000 hospitals globally that are a part of the medical tourism industry. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. And while most people will go to Colombia, Dominican Republic, India, Turkey, all these other countries, no one really looked to Africa as a whole for healthcare. And here recently, maybe the last 5 years, Kenya has risen to the top as the second best healthcare in all of Africa, second behind South Africa. But I always say this, this is just my truth. South Africa health industry is predominantly Mzungus. right? When you look at Kenya, it's predominantly Kenyans. And so we're talking about Black excellence here in the medical industry here. And most of the Kenyan doctors have been schooled here, very good doctors, but schooled abroad and came back home and brought their knowledge here to the country, where now you get top tier healthcare services here, mainly in the private sector. I know Kenyans, please don't come for me in the comment section. But then even in the public sector, Kenyatta Hospital is one of the best public hospitals in the country. And they pull some of the doctors from Kenyatta Hospital to Aga Khan, Nairobi, and so on and so forth. But I do understand it's the private sector, so please, please don't come for me in the comment section. However, I too have even participated in the healthcare system here. I get my dental work here. I just got a weight loss procedure done here. Shout out to our partners, Halcyon, an amazing staff of people. It took 30 minutes for this outpatient, non-invasive procedure that I got done. At a fraction of the price that I would have paid in the States.
Oh, really?
And what makes it even more interesting is that they had this particular procedure in Kenya 5 years before the US. The US just got this procedure.
No way. Really?
And it costs 3 times more than what you would pay for it here. The customer service is better here. You would get it at a fraction of the price. And you also will get top level healthcare services here. So, I mean, Kenya is where it's at for medical tourism. I know that we're probably the only company that promotes inbound medical tourism to Kenya, but I'm telling you, the time is now. Kenya is where you want to be when you're looking for any medical healthcare services.
The quality is good.
The quality is great. I mean, if you look at Nairobi, shout out to Nairobi Hospital. I love Nairobi Hospital and the entire staff there. Nairobi Hospital is one of your top tier hospitals. And
I think that's the best one.
Man, it is. Aga Khan is our partners too. We're also partnered with AER and closing out our partnership with MP Shah. But I would say, okay, so Aga Khan is level 7 and is JCI accredited, and it's a university. So at the end of the day, they're always going to be ranked top. However, Nairobi, if you look at Nairobi Hospital, Nairobi has been around about 80 plus years as well. It's an independent hospital. It is a level 7 hospital. They are going for their accreditation. They are internationally accredited. They have some of the top doctors in the country. It's mostly Kenyans. That's another reason why I like Nairobi. No shade. And then the facility is newer. The facility is newer in terms of their VIP rooms, their standard rooms. We took a client there 2 days ago for an MRI, and the facility, forget about it. You would have thought you were in any hospital in the US, the UK, Canada, anywhere in the Western world. So they're competing globally in terms of the healthcare system here. So, yeah.
Let's go back to Journey Back to Eden.
Yeah.
So there's a 7-day and a 12-day experience. So just tell us the nitty-gritties about Journey Back to Eden.
So the Journey Back to Eden, the essence of it all is relationship building. I did look at some of the gaps that we started to see in the year return of Ghana, and we're starting to see the resentment of the locals against
let's talk about that.
Yeah, the locals against the diasporans coming in, and then vice versa. You're seeing this resentment and this rift is happening. And I feel like no one was intentionally concentrating on basic relationship building, getting to know each other before we move to what I like to call conscious trade and commerce. You can't get to business not with this type of relationship, because we have such a unique relationship with West Africa specifically, that we need to address some of our issues. There are underlying issues that I don't believe that we as African people are ready to really have those conversations in a way that's conducive for us. And I don't think that they intentionally did that with the year return. That's my opinion. I would like to know how you feel about it.
Trust me, like I feel like yeah, it's true. I feel like they're doing, and the reason why my take is everything there is being done blindly, which is very dangerous. And the fact that they're even giving citizenship to white people, it just goes to say that, to me, the cause isn't coming from a point of love and from a point of care and from a point of reuniting.
No, it's about money.
This is about money. This is about tourism money.
Yeah, yeah.
And once you do that, you'll end up like Liberia now.
Yes.
Cause and then also like I don't know, but African Americans there like living with Ghanaians, or are they secluded in their own nice places or
They're
everything?
secluded.
So you see, that's the problem. There's no integration the way Traverse is doing. There's no integration. Like there's no synergy. Everybody is just going, and then the land is being given at a huge discount, which is not bad. But now the Ghanaians are looking at it from a point where they're like, so they get discounted lands and we don't get discounted. Like this thing hasn't been thought out very carefully. Things are just being done in a very blind way, which is very, very dangerous.
I think when they started, because it started in the private sector, it started with an African American going and saying, hey, this is something that we want to do. And I think once the Ghanaian government took over, it became about dollars and cents. Yeah. And so you do see some of the African American community going and creating their own communities and things of that nature. But on the flip side, they're also complaining that they are being overcharged and redlined, and there weren't processes in place ready for them to move there.
Exactly.
So there's complaints on both sides. And to your point, I don't think once the government took over, it wasn't a thought out plan past what they had already started.
Let me tell you, Kea, and everybody who's watching here, I know that a lot of, actually, like most of my fans in Nigeria, African Americans. So I'd like to tell you this. When you're dealing with African governments, be very careful. African governments are very conniving, and they only care about one thing, and that's money. They don't care about the cause. They don't care about, culture and Pan-Africanism, nothing. All they care about is how much am I going to get from you? So, Kea, and you know this.
I ain't
right?
gonna say too much, but yeah.
So
I'm still a foreigner in this country. No.
so they need to be. And look, we want you guys to come to Africa, but we want it to be done the right way.
Correct. What is the right way?
The right way is what you're doing. Integration. First of all, understand the people. To me, like you see what you're doing with the JBE. Come here first. 7 days, 12 days, or if you can't even 1 month, come here and understand the people. I mean, it's been 400 years of separation.
Yes.
That's a lot of years. Come here and understand the people. Kenyans are very different from Ugandans, South Africans, Ghanaians, whatever. Come and understand the people. Come and understand the politics. That's let me tell you something. Politics is the most important thing you need to understand. Not because of you getting involved in it, but just know how it works and who is he, and just like it's very important to understand, because when it breaks down, you know what's happening. So understand the politics, understand the social life, and understand the cultures, understand the tribes, understand the most important thing, the economy. And I know, Kea, you know this.
Absolutely.
So once you understand those three aspects, politics, social life, and the economy, and now you've done a really, really careful assessment of what you would like to get from the country, from whichever country you'd like to visit, let's say it's Kenya, then now you can make a big decision to come back.
Yes. But then on the flip side, the JBE is also about you all getting to know us.
Exactly.
Right, us culturally, because a lot of people think that we do not have culture as African Americans or other Africans of the diaspora. But specifically, let's talk about African Americans, because that's the internet war, that we don't have culture, that we don't come with any value, which, is not necessarily all true. right? And so the JBE is rooted in relationship building. So you get to know us and we get to know you
Yeah.
through the 3-day event that we have embedded in that 7-day,
Yes.
excuse me, and 12-day itinerary.
Mhm.
It's about, so definitely discussing the business opportunities that one can have here. Sorry, excuse me. Guess y'all cut that.
Yeah, no.
It's about us coming for the conference first, where we discuss business opportunities that are here, that we can also work together in terms of investing in small businesses, invested in the larger industrial sectors here in Kenya. And just getting advice from people that's already doing it. You know what I mean? And then the second day is the Cultural Exchange Expo, where we experience each other within the diaspora through food, through dance, through music, through history, through culture, you know. And then now we can start moving towards these conversations that we're having online that's rooted in hearsay, that's rooted in stereotypes, that's rooted in no substance.
We clear the stereotypes.
We clear it all because you've been able to, not all, but if we could start from a place of knowing, and not just what you believe or what you assume, because honestly, we don't know each other. You know what I mean? And so we're just going off of what we see on TV or what you read in the book or what you know what I mean? You don't really know. And so this is just a step, like you said, a step forward. This is not the end all be all.
Yeah.
I just want to be a part of the solution, not the problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's why I like you, Kea, because you're not professing that this is it, this is the, you know, like.
No, I would be, first off, that would be very arrogant of me to think that, oh, this is going to solve all our problems. Absolutely not. It's just a step towards a solution because our problems are rooted. Deeply rooted. And as you said, 400, it's actually at least 700 years of disconnect. But as I always say this, I'm telling you, the beauty is in the differences. The wealth is in the differences that we have. Now, before we can get to talking about the differences and finding a middle ground where we can cooperatively work together, we certainly have to, again, get to know each other culturally, get to know each other historically, get to know each other through the language, through the food, through the dance, through all of that. And then by the time we get through that, now we're going to start seeing the differences.
Yeah.
We're going to start seeing the differences. And some of the differences ain't going to work for us. It ain't gonna work. Like, all right, nah, I can't do this. All right, we can't do this. How do we meet in the middle where it's conducive for both parties? Let's not argue about the differences. That's stupid. Let's leverage the differences and meet in the middle so that we now move towards conscious commerce and trade.
I like that. Let's meet in the middle.
We have to try at least.
Yeah, we can't agree with everything.
We can agree to disagree.
Yeah.
There's a beauty in that too.
Yeah.
Because I can understand how you got to what you're saying. I just don't agree to it. I'm an advocate for agreeing to disagree. Like, hey, I'm gonna have to agree to disagree with you, but I can see how you got to that. It just is not for me. You know what I mean? And that's okay. So then once we realize that, you accept that, I accept that, then we say, okay, so then how we meet in the middle? How do we meet in the middle? So I like when you said such and such. So I'll take a little piece of that and I'll meet you here. And then you say, well, I like what you said and it made sense. We meet there.
Yeah, but I didn't like that, and then you didn't like this. But it's
and
okay.
we leave that on the side.
Yeah.
We leave that on the side.
We don't have to agree on it.
We don't have to agree on it. We leave that to the side and we keep it moving. But what we're seeing is people getting hung up on the differences and you ain't creating no damn solution. It don't make sense. And it's a waste of time and energy. So, you know.
I mean, it's the same thing with even like with African countries here in Kenya. Sorry, here in Africa. Kenyans don't agree with some of the things that Ugandans do and Tanzanians do. South Africans do, but we
But you at least got to the point where you created the EAC.
Yeah, exactly.
You definitely have done more than other regions of Africa. Yeah, for sure. The East African community actually, I believe, is way forward, thinking and moving.
Really,
aside from what's going on in the Congo, and what's going on in the Congo is way bigger than anyone can fathom. It's deep. It's very deep. But aside from what's going on in the Congo and Sudan, which both are very, very, very deep, but both are a part of the EAC. I think it's still a step forward that you all are doing that I think most regions of Africa hasn't gotten to yet. Okay. That's just my opinion. And I know I'm being biased because I love East Africa, but yeah.
You love Kea, so that's the thing about Kea. Kea, like for 13 years she's been coming, but now you're here full time now.
I live here permanently, but let me be clear. I also appreciate being African American of the Gullah Geechee culture.
Okay.
I am very proud to be Gullah Geechee. Oh no, I would never let that go just because I live in Kenya.
Yeah.
But you can be two things at the same time. I can be proud to be Gullah Geechee and also be Pan-African. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Also love the Kenyan culture. I am proud of both communities that have accepted me. Well, Gullah Geechee is my culture, but being proud to be a part of the Kenyan community. Mm-hmm. And I make it important to integrate. You see how I'm on your platform as an American. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's intentional.
Okay.
That's intentional. And then you're Gen Z. Mm-hmm. So your opinion matters.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys have a lot to offer us older millennials in terms of what we're trying to do. So we should be working with you anyway, whether you Kenyan or not. Gen Z, we should be working with you because you bring a lot to the table. But everything that I do in terms of integrating with my Kenyan counterparts and as well bringing my culture to the table, because I don't want you to, feel like, okay, I'm not bringing nothing to the table and just forget who I am. You know what I mean? But it worked in both ways.
Marcus Garvey is very misunderstood.
Yes.
Because they always say Garvey wanted every black person to come back to Africa.
Yeah.
He never said that.
No.
Garvey said that the right people who have a passion towards Africa should come back.
Now, I'm glad you said that because people gave me flack on Lynn interview.
No, it's true.
About the visa-free situation. And I stand firm on it. I do not believe any Africans outside of the continent of Africa should have visa-free entry into the continent. I don't believe that. I believe that if you are really about the empowerment of Black people globally, then you should be able to want to invest. There are certain filters that need to be had, like Garvey said. Not all kinfolks,
Not all kinfolk is kinfolk.
Exactly. And I believe that if you can't work together in your own country, why should I give you something just for free? Shouldn't you want to impact the economy? Yeah. Shouldn't you want to impact the people? That's why those things are in place. Yeah. There's still a country that operates and it operates through its economy and the people need to be able to eat. So I think that there should be some guidelines, some specific filters in place. And most of the time, I don't care what y'all say in the comment section, the filter is a price point. Period. Full stop for me. I think, and I know a lot of y'all gonna come for me in the comments because y'all did before. But what I've seen, I can say this, I'm qualified to say this because I've seen this in 9 different other African countries in which I've done business in with people like myself. And you start to get people who want to get something for free, don't want to work once they get what they get for free. It just stops there. And then now you see people taking advantage of the system. Now, what we see is people taking advantage of the system, illegally relocating to the country, opening up business through illegal channels, and so on and so forth. We've seen it all.
But my thing is that how are they even allowed to operate in this space by now? Like by now, I mean, they should be gone by now. Like they should be, I don't know, like investigated or like the customers should know by now that something's wrong.
But it's a mentality to come with that idea of repatriating to a country that you're not a patriot of. If we deal with the word just repatriate, just the actual meaning.
See, I didn't. The patriot is in repatriation.
Correct.
Yeah.
So if you deal with the actual meaning of the word, you are not repatriating to Kenya.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Oh, well, that's powerful.
Right?
That's
That's the
powerful.
truth.
That's
You're not.
powerful. That's
I didn't
powerful.
repatriate to Kenya. I relocated to Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm.
And I'm integrating into the Kenyan community.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a patriot of Kenya. I'm a patriot of the United States of America,
Mm-hmm.
per my passport and my birth certificate.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm culturally American
Mm-hmm.
with the emphasis of African, right?
Okay.
And so we have to be mindful when you're pulling on people emotions through using repatriation, because you're not dealing with the actual truth.
Mm-hmm.
Is that we're relocating you to a country where you happen to have African ancestry,
Okay.
right? You happen to have, and you may not even have African or ancestry to Kenya. You have African ancestry to the continent of Africa,
Mm-hmm.
not the country of Kenya,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now you could do your DNA like I did my DNA. We actually have ancestry here in Kenya. For me, it didn't matter whether I came back Kenyan or not. This was one of the countries out of 46 countries I've visited in my life that I fell in love with. It just happened to be an African country.
Okay.
And I'm Pan-African. So it just worked for me. But I'm still very American. Now, to be quite honest, that was a hard pill to swallow when you're going through the Pan-African journey, your enlightenment journey, because we as African people in America have a love-hate relationship with that country. And because we are the lost children of Africa, or cousins, I would say.
Distant relatives.
Yeah, distant relatives. We're just trying to find somewhere we could call home because we don't feel like it at home, right? And so then you go through this journey of saying, I'm just African, right? And then you have a conversation with an actual continental African. They're like, no, you're not. You're American. You're like, well, yeah, I mean, you're right, but I have African ancestry. You know, how do I look like you?
Well, you're American by paper.
I'm American culturally and by paper.
Okay. Do you consider yourself African first?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because of my DNA and my
Of course.
African ancestry.
Yeah.
Culturally, I'm American
Mm-hmm.
with sprinkles of African traditions and culture. Because you can see where we did still pull from the African culture and was able to commemorate it and cultivate it our on our own. However, you know, you spend 400 plus years with the same people who colonized you and enslaved you, you become like them. There's no way around that. What makes us special is that Africa is in our DNA.
Mm.
So it's awakened when the drums are drumming, when the music is playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When we're cooking our
Of
food,
course.
when we, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You see the African DNA. So I'll never say that I'm not African,
Mm-hmm.
but I am culturally American. And that is the part that a lot of us have a hard time swallowing. And then coming over here and bringing your American mindset
Mm-hmm.
and thinking that you're not,
Okay.
but you are. Because you're not being realistic with yourself. I've been born and raised in America 42 years. You think that just changed overnight?
No,
That doesn't
Okay.
that doesn't change overnight.
Okay.
It's definitely a unlearning it's unlearning and all of the conditioning that you went through for 42 years.
And that's hard.
And that's hard. But then you come to Kenya, and Kenya just as Western
Mm-hmm.
as some of the daggone cities and states in America.
Yeah.
So let's not act like we coming to an Africa that was like thousands of years ago. Now let's be clear.
Yeah. This is more. Yeah.
We're not
different.
coming
It's different.
we're
It's
not
different.
coming to an Africa that was
Yeah.
once before.
Yeah.
We're coming to a very westernized, and that's why people love Kenya. Kenya is quite westernized.
Very.
You see what I'm saying?
Very, very.
So let's be real. Now, when we talking about us saying that we are American but we're African, we're also meeting you at a position where you are also westernized as well. So those two things have to be discussed as well. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just the way of the world. That's where we're at right now.
That's where we at.
That's where we at. That's the truth. But that's my problem. We have to be honest. Just keep it a buck. You might not like it. Just keep it a buck, though. We can pull from Pan-African systems. We can pull from ancient African history and cultures and things like that and implement it in where we are now. Realistically, we can't do what them people was doing 1,000 years ago. That's not where we are now. Even our DNA is different from them people. 100 years ago, our DNA is different. The way we eat is different. The way we speak is different. Even here in Kenya, you said it yourself, most Gen Zs don't even speak fluent Swahili or their mother tongue. Not Swahili, their mother tongue.
That's true. No, actually, it's true. It's true.
So there's different nuances of both sides that we have to just be realistic. You might not like it because we can't live in La La Land. I think that's what happens in the Pan-African community. We just start romanticizing things. And you're like, stop romanticizing it. That's what's getting us in trouble. Let's just be 100 with each other. Yes, we welcome you here. Yes, we welcome you home. Your DNA is African. So yes, but let's be honest, you are also American. So when you come, you have to integrate. And then we want to get to know you from your perspective.
And then you know us.
Yes, that's the reality.
It's like a detox period.
Yeah. I mean, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. It does.
Because I know you are, he's super.
Yeah, well.
Pan-African, okay? And there's no problem with that, but yeah.
The only thing I disagree with you, Kea, is the way you say you're culturally American.
Yeah.
But you know, like.
But that's the truth. Where do you find the discomfort?
Well, because America is like after everything that America has done.
Not that America. I'm not being crazy.
Oh, you mean Black America?
Yes.
Oh, you say that then.
But I said Gullah Geechee, my culture.
Gullah Geechee. Okay. Because when you say you're culturally American, now people will misunderstand you by saying you're... No.
I'm talking about the Black American experience.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, I would never jump out the window that way. No. From the Black American experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Which is quite different.
Okay.
And distinctively different from your culture. Right? And so when you meet me here, even the way that I speak English is different.
Yeah, it is.
You see what I'm saying? If I talk too fast, you ain't gonna understand me. You know what I mean? But the way you speak English is different. I'm like, why do y'all use that word? Why would you use, whatever. Yeah. And you say the same thing about me. So it's these nuances, again, that we just don't want. I don't know if we want to romanticize it or whatever, but you and I are not the same. We're the same in DNA.
But
culturally, we're differently.
Yes. Yeah, I get it now. Okay, now we're back. We're back.
All right, glad I cleared that up. You can cut the whole other part there.
No, we keep that. We keep that. So, journey back to Eden. 7-day, 12-day.
Yeah.
Just give us the process. How can people sign up? And like the experience they're going to get from start to finish.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what makes the journey back to what makes the journey back to Eden very unique and a little different from the year return. The year return was like I believe a 3 or 4 day event where you had the conference, the expo, the celebration and things of that nature. And then they had some parties and things of that nature. You had to put your own accommodation together, ground transportation, so on and so forth, or use third-party travel companies.
Okay.
But because we are a travel concierge company, we like to make things comprehensive. And so what we did was we built the 3-day event into an itinerary. So we have a 7-day itinerary that starts from December the 28th to January the 3rd. All right. And then we have a 12-day itinerary that starts from December the 28th to January the 8th, whereby you're not just coming here to just sit down and listen to us talk about business and, of course, exchange information and culture exchange and celebrate with each other, but you're also going to see this in real time by experiencing the country through the itinerary. And so when you leave, you will have a full understanding of what it is that you can possibly do in this beautiful country through the JBE.
So it's tverse.com.
It's at tverse.com. You can go to the website. Then you will click the Journey Back to Eden Summit Festival. You'll see all of the information there, but go to his link and his bio.
I'll post a link in my description and use my promo code Sell Africa to Africans.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question. Why did you accept the invitation to be a part of the Journey Back to Eden?
Kea, first of all, like, you know, I've been Pan-African since I was 16.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Since I was in high school, I've always been interested. And
what made you, how did you get there? Because you know that's rare for Kenyans to be Pan-African.
Now, let me tell you something. When I was in Form 4, now Form 4 in high school is like your final year in high school. I say 16 because I've always been inquisitive. That's just me. I question everything. I've always been that way since I was a little boy.
You're old soul. You've been here before.
I've been here before. I've been here before. But then that was but when I was 18, when I was in my last year in high school, my history teacher, in the history books, there's a topic called Pan-Africanism.
Really?
Yeah.
In your school here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But now the problem, it has like 3, 4, 5 pages. And it only talks about Marcus Garvey, W.E.B. Du Bois, and Booker T. Washington.
That's better than us because they don't put Marcus Garvey in the books in the States.
Well, yeah, but you know, like, but what pained me is that Garvey had only 1 page. And I was like, no, okay, even though I didn't know much about Garvey and W.B. Du Bois and Booker T at that point, I was like, something is wrong. Why is this topic only having like...
And it only had African-American leaders, none of the Pan-African, continental Africans in the book. Like Patrice.
Nah.
Or Kwame.
No.
Wow. Okay.
Well, okay. There are...
Is that a part of African history?
Yes.
Okay.
That's part of Africa.
Okay.
I think this one was just meant for us to learn more about Pan-Africans from
the diaspora.
From the diaspora.
Okay.
So Kea, I said something was wrong, but then my history teacher, so now that is another thing about Kenyan education that you need to know. People study for exams. People just study to pass exams and that's it. People don't study to learn and to really understand what's going on. But my history teacher took time to really go through Garvey. He even went to the internet and showed us speeches of Garvey, especially Garvey. So that's how I got to love Garvey. Because after high school, I went to learn more, and then more and more, and I just became addicted to Black history. Then now I started learning about white supremacy, and then that's when my anger and passion started building. That's why you see me shouting all over in the videos, not because I'm angry, but because I'm passionate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can be both.
Yeah.
You can be both.
I always
it's okay.
say, like, anger is good.
Yeah.
So long as you channel it the right way.
Correct.
Yeah. So, and since that day, I've never stopped. And then I decided to build my platform.
Do your peers think you're weird?
Yes, they do. I've always been weird since I was in high school.
Okay.
But my family thinks I'm weird. They think I'm crazy. They don't understand what the hell I'm doing. But as things are unfolding, especially with Traore, even with
they're starting to see it.
Yeah, even with this country.
Yes.
Like what happened last year.
Yes.
And how the IMF is now they're saying, oh man, this guy is actually
onto something. Right, exactly.
They thought I was crazy when I started like 3 years ago. But now is when okay. So and then I accepted the Journey Back to Eden call because that has always been one of the actionable items I've always wanted to do.
You're right.
Connecting African diaspora to Kenya or to Africa in general, but Kenya because I'm in Kenya and I'm a Kenyan and I know Kenya. And I've only been to Kenya. I've been to Uganda.
Which is more Pan-African than Kenya.
Trust me. Like Uganda.
This would be so easy to do in Uganda.
Oh man. Well, the politics there might be a little bit challenging, but the people.
But the people,
Oh
yes.
man.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Like on TikTok, Ugandans are like the
Yeah, no,
guys
they're
who show me
super
a lot of
Pan-African
support.
for East Africa,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, and they
For
show me a
sure.
lot of support. Uganda.
Yes. Mhm.
So that's my story.
Yeah.
And how did you become Pan-African?
Ooh. Okay, yeah. So 2011, I'm in Afghanistan and somebody gives me Tariq Nasheed,
Oh, okay.
Hidden Colors.
Oh yeah, I actually like Hidden Colors.
He changed my
Yeah.
life, even though he on some other shiggity now.
Yeah.
He changed my life. I watched the video and that DNA was ignited.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, whoa, I've been lied to, bamboozled, and hoodwinked. You mean to tell me that this is not true, and this is and so that's where I started my enlightenment, and I started diving into the conscious community, which is a joke today, but they helped me. People like I said, Tariq Nasheed, Dr. Umar, the twins, the Moorish community. I used to watch what's his name on YouTube out of New York, Sonetta TV, big time. I was obsessed with Sonetta TV.
Kaba Kameni.
Huh?
Kaba Kameni.
Carbon?
Kaba Kameni. You don't know Kaba Kameni? I'll put you on to him. He was in Hidden Colors.
He was in it. Oh, yes. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
everybody in there. Dr. Valentine, everybody in that video. And so I started diving into the conscious community and started questioning my religious beliefs and going down the spiritual paths to study religion and so on and so forth. And then when you question your spirituality, it takes you to Africa.
Okay, of course.
It takes you to Africa. Yeah. And that's how I got to Africa and then became, Pan-African. Of course, I knew about the Honorable Marcus Garvey, but I didn't know it in the way that I know it now. You know what I mean? I knew about W.E. Du Bois and the greats, Fred Hammond and all these people who've done great things for us. And then I started learning about the African leaders here, like Patrice, who died and fought for the rights around the same time that we were fighting the civil rights movement in the States.
And you know one thing?
All of it.
The way people keep on saying that, the way these FBA people keep on claiming Dr. King, keep on claiming, Dr. King was very much Pan-African.
He became, that's why they took him out.
Yeah.
He became Pan-African, and Malcolm X also became.
Oh, yeah.
It was a brother here that actually got killed right before.
Yeah, Pio Gama Pinto.
Yes. And he was the reason why Malcolm X became Pan-African.
Oh, yeah.
The Kenyan.
Yeah.
He was actually an Indian, which is quite interesting, but he's Kenyan. I know I don't want my Indian community to come for us. But yeah, so it was that got me to Pan-African, and my family thought I was weird too.
Really?
Oh yeah, forget about it, because I was an angry black. Everything is about black people. Every conversation I had was, "Well, don't you know black people did this and black people did."
That's exactly how it was with my.
I was so bad, I was getting on my nerves. I was like, "Nah, at some point, this got to stop." You know what I mean? And so it's been a 13-year journey. So I definitely am not that person anymore, but I understood I had to go through that journey, because then, once you go through the whole journey, you understand that you can agree to disagree. I'm not here to argue with you about your beliefs. Definitely not trying to change your religion because it works for you. Yeah. You find solace in letting people be people, and I just stand where I stand.
Yeah, and that's a good thing about Pan-Africans. We don't single ourselves with religion or with or sororities. Like, so long as you're black,
the empowerment of African people globally.
That's it. We don't, and that's why I kind of have not a problem, but I kind of disagree with all these the Nation of Islam, and, like the people who only single themselves to religion or to a certain belief.
But it works for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're not going to all be on the same page.
respect them.
I respect the Nation of
yeah,
Islam.
Yeah. But
even Hebrew Israelites. Shout out to the Hebrew Israelite community.
they're my
Much
friends.
respect.
I interviewed Bishop Nathaniel the other day.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Much respect to the Hebrew Israelite community.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it works for them, and we can learn from them because they actually doing it.
Oh yeah.
That's the difference between Pan-African movement and the Nation of Islam or the Hebrew Israelite movement. They actually make actionable items happen.
But the problem with Pan-Africans is that we don't have a one united front.
That's the problem. And for them, religion worked. So it made sense. It made sense. It's working. So we need to find, and the united front is supposed to be the empowerment of black folks.
Yeah.
Right? But we somehow can't get, so, again, nothing but, and you said respect for the Nation of Islam, Hebrew Israelite community, any other black community that has found their unity in whatever it is and made it happen. I got nothing but respect for them, and we need to learn from them.
We need to.
Yeah.
But I also think there's a lot of ego when it comes to the Pan-African space as well.
There's a lot of talking.
Yeah.
A lot of ego.
Yeah.
A lot of not really having no action. So I use it lightly because you can get into the very, very dogmatic space of the Pan-African movement that's just not conducive for anybody. You know what I mean? Some of our Pan-African leaders don't believe in allyship. You know what I mean? Or creating some type of coalition. As you see it in any other community. And so it's just quite interesting where we are. But we're going to start with the JB and sell Africa to Africans.
Yeah, sell Africa to Africans. Yeah. Oh, wow. Kea, we can talk for like 5 hours.
Right.
But I think that we'll do a part 3 another time.
Yeah, we got time. We got about 8 months before the JBE.
We have to do like 2 or 3 of them before the actual JBE.
Yeah.
So before I say my piece about JBE, just close out and tell us everything about the JBE, and then I'll say my piece. Then we close.
So if you are interested in joining us here in Nairobi, Kenya for the Journey Back to Eden, please go visit his bio, click the link, and it'll take you straight to the website, tverse.com. You'll then click the Journey Back to Eden link, and you'll find all the information there. If you want to come here for 7 days, that we have an itinerary for that, or 12 days. We also have the itinerary for that. We really want you all to join us for the Journey Back to Eden. Don't say we didn't invite you. Don't say you didn't know, because we're telling you now. Join us here in Kenya for the Journey Back to Eden.
So, in the 2 weeks ago, I was in a podcast and I said Black Power is good outside of Africa, but it's great from where it came from, and the source of Black Power is Africa. And Black Power can be long lasting here in Africa, because this is where first of all, this is your home.
Yeah,
it's majority Black.
Yeah.
When you build Black Power outside of Africa, it's going to last, but you know who has the switch.
Yeah.
You know who has the switch.
Yeah.
So that's what I always say. If you are serious, if only you're serious of coming back home and living here, or even traveling first, and then that's when you decide to live here, and that's when you decide to invest, go to tverse.com. Go support Traverze Culture, because Kea is doing it well. Kea is integrating you. You said how many days? For relocation is 120 days?
120 days.
120 days for you to really reintegrate into the Kenyan culture.
Correct. Because
all these other guys are just dumping you here. And it's insane, because what do you know about Kenya? What do you know about the people? What do you know? You need someone to guide you through Kenya. So go to tverse.com and really just see how, if you want to travel, if you want to relocate, Kea, you have a good team.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Mora and all those guys. Yeah.
My team.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Traverze Culture Africa team, my local company here in Kenya. They are amazing. They've been with me for 7 years. I have all Kenyans on my team. That's another thing. If you see a company that don't employ Kenyans,
yeah, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And these are the things I keep on saying. You need to know how Kenya, because let me tell you something about Kenyans. Kenyans are very calm, but I think the calmness comes from, they see something and then, like they keep the anger inside. One day that anger will blow up like last year.
mm-hmm.
And when we blow up,
Yeah.
we blow up.
Yeah.
You see that? So that's why I'm saying, like, you need to understand Kenyans.
Yes.
Like, you need to understand Kenyans. So please, about the journey back to Eden, this is an opportunity for you to understand Kenya. This is a good intro so that you can start thinking about relocation and business opportunities and so much more. The journey back to Eden is an opportunity for you to start introducing yourself to Kenya. It's not just coming here and having fun. Yeah, there's so much fun, but you also come here to learn. By the time you leave here, you'll have a clear, first of all, a clear perspective of what Kenya is and what you really want to do in Kenya and whether you want to relocate or not. But I highly recommend you to come here with a mind of not just coming here to just have fun. Yeah, we're having fun, but because Kenya is beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
But come here to also learn about the economy, about the people, interact with us. We love you guys. We listen to hip hop. We listen to R&B. I love R&B so much. we listen to the products that you produce from America, and Kea, we love African Americans, and that's why you said you've never heard like Kenyans are very receptive to you.
Yeah, very welcoming.
So please click the link in the bio, sign up for the Journey Back to Eden initiative, whether it's 7-day or 12-day, and you'll find me there. I'll come, we'll talk,
You're a speaker, yes?
Yes, I'm a speaker. Yes, and Kea, me when I hit the microphone.
I know.
Yeah.
We just gonna let them rip.
So please come, and we're waiting for you. We love you, but most importantly, we miss you guys.
Oh wow!
It's been 400 years. We miss you. This is your home. Okay, wow. And remember, Black Power is good outside of Africa, but it's great from its source, and its source is Africa. I mean, look at Tulsa. Look at what happened to Tulsa. Look what happened to Black Wall Street. It was good while it lasted, and then look at what white people did to Tulsa, because it's in close proximity to white supremacy, and basically you're in a white country.
Thank you for saying you miss us. That just hit me.
No, we miss you guys. Now. It's been 400 years of separation. From slavery in 1619. Actually, it's more than
later than that. Yeah. So that's why I keep saying. Yeah. We've been saying 400 since Marcus Garvey.
So it's
at least 700 years.
Yeah, 700, 600, 500, whatever, 400. It's been long. So we miss you guys. So come to the Journey Back to Eden. Use click the link in the bio, use the promo code Sell Africa to Africans, sign up, come, learn, have fun, and socialize. That's I think those are the three things that people are going to do in JB. Learn, having fun, socialize,
and relationship building.
But relationship building is like socializing.
Socializing, okay. Yep.
So please sign up. I'm waiting on you guys. I'm waiting on you. I know Kea is waiting on you, but me, I'm really waiting on you because I haven't interacted with African Americans face to face that well. Or online, yes, but face to face, it's been very few people.
Very few.
Yeah, and I want to really talk to them and to really interact with them.
This is gonna be good.
Yeah. In real time.
I'm excited. In
living color.
Yep.
So guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Kea, is there anything you want to say? We're done.
We're done.
Good. Peace.
Because we can keep going.
Yeah, that's the thing.